Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's Cassie at Creative Paper Studio, and today we are going to be doing video 4 of my series of a jump ring junk journal, and we're doing it in a bee theme. And so up to this point, you guys should have your spine done with the eyelets in it, your front and back cover, your envelope. In the last video, I talked about the ephemera a little bit. I have a couple of specimen slides ready to go, and I showed you guys this piece again. That's our file folder that we glued together in video 1, and I said the next time you see mine, it will be covered in papers and somewhat decorated. And so I have gone ahead and done that. And today we're going to work on a bit of the construction of putting our journal together. So I'm going to set everything aside in my little basket here, except for my spine. I want my spine out because what we're going to do now is we're going to cover this side of our spine so that we can start putting our book together. Okay, so to cover this side, I'm going to use some fabric, and I'm just going to go ahead and use the same fabric that I have used on the inside and the same fabric that I've used for the middle pieces here. So again, this is going to be very similar to what we did before, where we're just going to take our fabric and we're going to cut our piece just a little bit bigger. Okay. Now I'm going to place it down here. Cut. Do a little snip snip right there and then rip that. Okay. So now we have this little piece. I'm going to get rid of all these extra threads. Okay. I did not come very prepared. I didn't get my glue out. But that's okay. I'll use my other glue. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to go ahead and use my Fabrifix, Fabri-Tac 3-in-1, the foam poster board stuff from Dollar Tree, and a Bush. And I'm just going to glue all over the back part of our spine. And then we'll put the fabric on. So, anyway, while I'm gluing this, I hope everybody is happy and healthy. It's a beautiful Monday morning here, or afternoon, should I say. It's 2:30 here. My husband has gone to get our son from school, so it's just me and the animals, and I figured, hey, it's a quiet time. I'll jump on and do my video for today. So that's what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to make sure I get some glue on my string. If you have any sensitivities at all to the smells of glue and stuff, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. Okay, so I'm going to take this and flip it upside down onto my fabric. And then I'm going to press with my fingers here Okay, and then I'm going to turn it over and just kind of make sure it's nice and snug. Okay. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim this out. Okay, so we're just going to cut along the edges of our file folder. Save your little scraps, because these little long skinny scraps like this of the fabric make wonderful tag toppers and stuff. Okay, so now to make sure that this stays, I'm going to go to my sewing machine, and on this first little flap right here, this 1/2 inch flap on both sides, I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch straight down those. It's nothing that you're really going to see once we put the book together or anything like that, but I like to do it just to ensure that my fabrics are going to stay. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, I'll do my stitching, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so here is my piece. I've gone ahead and I've done a zigzag stitch down the 1/2 inch space where our covers are going to attach. I'm just going to come in here and give it a little bit of a fold. Okay, so at this point, if you want to, we can attach our front covers. So you're going to want to make sure that you have your top and your bottom distinguished. Now, my top has to be up here because of the way I put my eyelets in. So I want my eyelets to show the pretty side before the back. So this is the top and bottom of mine. So I'm going to want to make sure my covers are going the right direction. Okay. And then what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac, Fabri-Fix, whatever you want to use. I would use a really good glue because this is what's going to hold your cover to your spine, okay? So I'm just going to take my glue and I'm going to put a good amount down the edge here. Okay, and then I'm going to stick it on there just like so. It helps to hold it up and push it down. That way you know you're getting a good allowance there for your cover to bend. I'm going to hold it for a bit. You may even want to use your clips. So I've got these little sewing clips here. I'm going to take it and pinch right there, and then I'll pinch this side as well. Now, I think what I'm going to do is once I get this on here, I'm going to go ahead and do another zigzag stitch down that. I know my sewing machine will go through that, and that's just going to double ensure that it stays there. So, we'll set this like that, and then we want to make sure we've got things going the right direction. Okay, so my front cover needs to go on like this. This is going to be a huge book. Okay, well, we're going with it. So that's going to go there. Okay. So we're going to glue this side. And put this on like so. Again, I'm going to make sure that it's where it needs to be by folding it up, and then I'm going to clip it. Now, if you don't want a book this big, you can adjust your measurements of the spine. So, as I'm looking at this, this is going to be quite a big book, and I don't know where exactly I went wrong, because I followed the measurements of this one, but it seems to be bigger. But, you know, it does kind of bend in a different way once you get everything put in there and all that. So we'll just have to see how it comes together. Okay, so we've got all that. Okay, I'm going to take this to the sewing machine again, and I'm just going to do another zigzag stitch straight down here. You can do it from the front side to make sure, you know, that it looks neat. You can do it from this side, doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine. I'm going to do another zigzag stitch straight down the edges of my covers, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we are back, and I've gone ahead and done a zigzag stitch down there, so you can see on the front side right here I ran out of thread, and then that did not sew properly. So I'm gonna have to go back and restitch right here. That'll take me just a moment to do, so just bear with me a second while I stitch this. I ran out of thread, and then I had to put new top thread in. So that's why that didn't stitch the way it should have. Okay, so I have that stitched now. Okay, so this is what we're working with. And now we want to do our inside covers. And our inside covers are going to be, you know, interactive pieces. So we have to kind of build them. I'm just trimming off some of these loose little threads and stuff, you know, because I guess I'm picky like that. Okay, so let's pull our other book in and let's look at our back page. So for the back page on this book, we have this little tie here with flip ups, and then we've got a piece of paper, and then we've got 2 pockets. These are gusseted pockets, okay? And they do have acetate in them. So let's work on building this. And I don't know if we'll get through all of it today or not, but I will at least try to get the flips on and the back page in one of the pockets, and then the second pocket is done exactly the same way. Okay? So we need to start out by making our flips. And I'm going to use my paper pad for this. And I've been using this paper pad that I got at Joann's. It is Park Lane and it's called Bees. And it's a beautiful paper pad. Absolutely love it. I do have, you know, like my scraps and stuff over here that we can use throughout. And I've got some, you know, yellow dyed paper and things like that. So if I can use pieces from this, I will. So this looks like a pretty good piece of scrap that is plenty wide enough. So let's flip this over. I'm going to eyeball it with the width of our cover. I'm going to go just a tad under what the cover is. And we'll trim that down. So once you're at this point, it's basically really whatever you want to do. You know, the flips, the flaps, the pockets, that's all, you know, on you, personal preference kind of thing. Okay, so at this point, I want to find my halfway mark. So it seems like 4 1/4 is my halfway mark, and I want this to be a little bit wider, so I'm going to make them 4 3/4 tall. Okay, so I need 2 pieces that's 4 3/4 tall. And this will make sense in just a moment. 4 3/4, and then 4 3/4. And I'm going to leave those facing each other the way they're supposed to be. I'm going to get out my scoreboard here, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, and then making sure I'm keeping my paper together so that when I glue it on, they match up like so. Okay, so now I want to score this one at 1/2 inch. Okay. So now we're going to fold our scores. This seems crooked to me. Oh well. Okay. So now we have that one that'll go there and this one that'll go there. Now those are kind of close together. I want a little bit of a gap. So I'm going to take this one and I'm actually going to score that a little bit higher up. So we scored it at 1/2 of an inch. I'm going to go right here. Okay. And the reason I'm doing this is because I do want a little bit of a gap between the two. So when I put this on like this, there's going to be a bit of a gap, okay? So now you need to decide, do you want a peekaboo window? For example, on this one, I did peekaboo windows and put little things in there. I'm not putting anything special in here or anything like that. So I'm just going to leave mine the way they are. But if you want to, then just take a punch or cut it out and then make sure you put another piece of paper behind this. Now, I don't need another piece of paper behind these, so I'm going to take my stencil, if I can find my stencil. I should have been a little bit more prepared. Okay. Anyway, I can go back and stencil that later. I'm not going to waste your guys' time by looking for it right now. But I'm going to take these to my sewing machine and I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch around the edges of these, okay? So when I do this, I'm going to unfold my creases. That way I'm not, you know, messing with that. And I'll just do my zigzag stitch up the middle of that so that I can fold these, because if you stitch it while it's folded, you're going to stitch your folded piece of paper to the back and then you're not going to be able to fold it. So make sure you unfold them and just stitch along your lines. So I'm going to go ahead and go do that and I'll be back. So I've gone ahead and stitched around these, and the next thing I want to do is miter the corners on my fold. So that just means cutting them at an angle. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to get my Crop-A-Dile out. You know, we get things out, we put them away, we get them out, we put them away. It's a never-ending thing. And I about did this upside down. I'm glad I saw that. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of fold this in half a bit and just give it a small crease right there so that I can see where the middle is, and then I'm going to punch a hole. I'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, sorry about that. My phone quit recording on me again. It's because I'm running out of storage space on my phone, so I really need to get an SD card. But anyway, the only thing you missed was I put my eyelets in, and then I took the flaps and glued one to the top and one to the bottom. That way they open and close like so. So what I'm going to do now is take some jute. And then just put it through my eyelet like so. I'm going to do this for the top and the bottom. Okay. And now I'm going to tie these in a bow and then cut my extra off. Okay. Okay, so I've got that tied in a nice bow there. I'll cut about there, and I'll cut about there, okay? So now I'm going to untie it. And now we need to put a piece of paper on here. So I have this piece of paper that is the perfect height, and I'm sorry, that's probably very, very shiny. Perfect height, and we need to get it to the right width. So we'll cut right inside that line. Where'd I go with my trimmer? We'll use this one. Okay. So I'm going to trim just inside that black line. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and use this glue because I have it out and I want this to adhere nicely. So just glue all over the back of this. And I'm hoping to get through one of the pockets before I have to go. Okay, make sure you get it to the edge. Okay, put it on there. Clean this up. Make sure you're able to fold your flaps in. And that one folds in just fine, but this one doesn't want to, so I should have checked that before doing this. So now I'm going to take my not so great scissors and I'm going to cut just a little. And we're back again with more stuff done that y'all didn't get to see done. So anyway, I'm just going to explain real quick what I was doing with the pocket and go from there because I'm getting so frustrated with my camera not recording. It's saying that I'm out of storage and stuff, so I need to go through and clean up my phone. So anyway, I put the backing on. You guys saw me at that part. At that point is where you want to decide if you want a closure or not. I decided I was going to put this black ribbon on here as a closure, so I put that under there. You can go back and stitch along here to ensure that that stays if you want to, and I probably will do that, or even just a little stitch right there, just to make sure that that stays. So for here, what I did was I took my ruler and I measured it, and it's about 6 inches. So I want a 1/2 of an inch for my gusseted pocket on either side. So I cut my paper at 7 inches. And then going this direction to center it, it was 4 1/4. So I wanted my pocket to have some room to get things in and out of it. So I took it down to 3 3/4 tall is what my pocket's going to end up being. And I want a 1/2 of an inch. So I went to 4 1/4 for the 1/2 of an inch for the gusset on the bottom. So I cut my paper to that size. And then I went ahead and I scored 1/2 an inch, 1/2 an inch, 1/2 an inch. And then I took my ruler and I went from my gusset, or from my score lines, in 1/2 an inch. And I did 1/2 an inch all around, cut a hole, and then I cut a piece of I'm using a sleeve protector, but you can use acetate, you can use vellum, you can use stuff from packaging, a sleeve protector, anything that's clear if you want this to be a clear pocket. And then I just took my envelope punch board and I punched a hole there. So here's where you can see one that hasn't been completely done yet. This one's just been scored at the 1/2 inch all the way around and then has a little dip in there. So I still have to go back and cut my hole and put my page protector part in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I'm just going to stitch around here with the zigzag stitch, and then I'm just going to take it and glue it down just like so. And then I will do the same to this one, and this one will be glued down in this area approximately, and glue it down as well. I'm also going to take and put a couple of brads in the corners here just to fancy my pocket up a little bit, but I'll add those brads after I do the stitching. So the next time you see me, these will be stitched and glued in, and I will have inked and stenciled on the backs of these. Also, at this point, okay, sorry about that. My son and my husband came in, so I'm going to finish this up real quick. So anyway, the next time I come on here, you'll see all of this completely put together and finished. If you want to, at this point, you can go ahead and attach your inserts into your cover. So you would take the envelope and attach it with jump rings, which is pretty self-explanatory. Just attach it with jump rings on the back. And then this piece, I can show you real quick what we're going to do with it. Okay, I have things falling apart here. So I took a piece of paper and I cut it at 2 inches wide, and then I scored it at 1 inch so that there's 1 inch and 1 inch, and then I rounded my corners. So on the back page of your flip, you're going to take this and glue it on there about 1/2 inch so that you have something that looks like this. So after you do that, you're going to take your same template that you made these holes with. You're going to punch your 5 holes and put your eyelets in there. And then you're going to have something that looks like that with eyelets in it. And then this is going to attach to the front one. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that before the next video, go ahead and do that. And then the next video, or tomorrow's video, we will work on the front cover. And then the only thing we have left to do after that is build our journal part, and we're done with the book. So until next time, guys, do what you love, keep it crafty, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.